Hi, Tamra Trowbridge here, and thank you for coming and checking out my Hangout. I have on my panelists today Thomas Maguccio and Maggie Avery. And this is just a casual conversation that I want to have just to get to know, like, and trust everyone. If you happen to be a viewer, please feel free to add into the group chat any questions that you may have. And we're just going to talk about network marketing and building relationships and having that positive outlook on your business. So it's a smorgasbord. It's not dedicated to any particular product or service that's offered. It's just a general hangout, getting people's questions answered. So Thomas, thank you for joining me today, and Maggie. Now I understand. I just wanted to say kudos to you, Maggie, that you're going to be doing a summit. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and what's all that all about? What's the summit about?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, the Telesummit is about brilliance in business. Brilliance and business, and that's what it's about. It's different speakers speaking about different things and just building your business, how to be brilliant in your business. Each speaker has a different topic. Mine just happens to be about Twitter and its uses and how to use Twitter as another platform for your marketing. And Twitter is basically one of those platforms where you can take whatever information you have. The best thing to do, because Twitter, you can have links. You give them something inspirational. You can share your links to your blog posts, to wherever you want your links to go to with Twitter. And Twitter is also about developing relationships as well, and creating lists for those relationships. Like, say, for instance, you might need a list for potential clients or clients where you just want to tweet to them personally, or you can find people to talk to on Twitter by using their search features as well. So Twitter is very helpful from bringing them, from taking people somewhere else, like to a landing page, your Facebook group, your Facebook business page, or just meeting you one-on-one or taking them somewhere else. That's what Twitter is really good for, really building relationships online as well. Okay.
That's the one thing that I've never really, I have a Twitter account, I've thrown some links in there every now and again, but to use it to build relationships, I haven't found that yet. And I guess even with Facebook, you know, people just throw so many links out there to connect with people and build relationships. So it's good to know that there's another platform that's been out there forever, just taking the time and learning to utilize it the correct way. So
Yes.
now, how many speakers and then how many days is this going to be for?
It's going to be 20 speakers. I'm one of 20. It's going to be starting September 22nd, and it's going to the 23rd.
22nd through 22nd, 23rd, and 4th, 5th, 6th, 27th?
Yes.
22nd to the 27th. If you wouldn't mind, do you want to go ahead and type into the chat there, or I don't know if the chat shows up on the recorded or not, of that particular summit, what link they can go to get more information on that? Can you access that?
Okay, let
If
me
not,
find that. Okay, well, I have my own little, let me see if I can bring it up. Okay. We are.
And while you're doing that, I just have a quick question. You know, what do you find to be the number one question that people are asking online as far as what to do online? Have you run across any? Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Maggie.
Okay, what I'm finding, and which has been an issue for me as well, is when people come online, as I've watched a lot of them, and I kind of wondered, what can you do differently? The one thing that I saw, it was a page that I saw. If I can go and find it really quick, I'll share. But it's a lady that's losing, that has gone on her weight journey, and she shared her daily struggle. She shared, did with her kids, and with her products that she using within her weight loss challenge. And she talks about her exercising. She shows videos of her exercises. She takes pictures. She shows a lot of images, and she places whatever she's eating. She places the recipe on there. And I said, those are the things that people want to look at, and that's the stuff that they want to share. And within your business, the things that you should be doing is that kind of stuff. I mean, I know a lot of the marketers that have made it big, they tell us, but you have to do what's comfortable for you. And what's been comfortable for her is sharing her experience of losing weight. And we all know how difficult that is, to change what we're eating, to change what we're doing, from doing the exercise, because I know that's my struggle, and I'm taking that path as well. But I noticed she did something different. I mean, she doesn't get a whole lot of engagement, because the only way you get engagements I see now is to place ads, the Facebook ads, the Twitter ads, and send those to your particular post. That's the one thing that I find out that people are being successful with. But the one thing that she does, she's just being her. She shares the recipes because she's doing a weight loss. She named her page with some keywords, and that was the one thing that I didn't do when I was naming my page. When you name your page, or when you name anything, it's good to use your name, but for reasons for people searching, I think it's to add a certain keyword that you're doing stuff with, or what resonates with you, what type of business you're having. Not so much as the company's words, but more or less your keywords, that if somebody was looking for something that you had, what they would be searching for. That's the one thing that I'm finding out, that you have to be different. You have to be different, and you have to be unique. And we can only do what we feel comfortable in doing, not what somebody else is doing that they were able to do, because we all have different skill sets. We all have different ways of learning things. We all have different ways of, even if we're with someone and they're teaching us something, we all can't learn from the same person. We all have, we learn differently. So that's the one thing that I know that works for people, is to just take what you're already learning. If you see a blog post that you read, take your experience out of it. If you go to a webinar, take your experience out of that particular webinar. Take whatever you learn, and then you share it from there. And if you go into one of those webinars or those events, whatever you're doing, share it. You don't have to be real personable, just the things that you're doing in life to get people curious to want to connect with you.
So that's where I'm at right now, is that I'm finding that I want to be a mentor, because, I've been on the internet for a long time, since 2008, and until I got with, a mentor about a year ago, what I was doing and complete yet, because I'm learning that I like doing these hangouts. I like being a mentor. I like to help people deal with their emotions. That was the big thing for me. Is like, well, I don't understand. What am I doing wrong? What's going on? And and it's all within you. The power is within you. And some people just don't understand that. They get online and think they can make money right away, and they'll try one method and it's not working, and try another method, and then all of a sudden, but yet, then they get discouraged, and I want to be that caregiver, motivator, to inspire people. Just don't give up. If you have a goal or a dream, don't give up. My dream at this point is that I want to be that caregiver, and I want to be that person that inspires people. Just don't give up, please, whatever you do, because if you give up, you're giving up on life, and no matter what your situation is like. Now, Thomas, I know we've had a few discussions about, connecting with people and how to approach people, and now I know that that's always been a big thing, that even though this is the digital age, in trying to connect with people, some of the people that I've spoken with, they're like, oh, well, hi, how are you? What do you do? How are you? Oh, here's my link. oh, okay, well, I wanted to have a conversation, not just throw a link. I didn't expect a link to be thrown at me. What do you feel about that? I mean, have you encountered the same, not being able to, just how do you overcome that yourself, or are you kind of like avoiding that?
Well,
Because there is a difference.
yeah, let me just say something about that. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Based upon my last contact with somebody, which came out of a program we were with at 500 thing, the person we discussed that we're in contact with each other, but we threw links at each other, and she still hasn't done. I did hers. It's a cycler and everything. So I don't know if that's would be successful. She's got a lot on her plate, and I'm not looking to get into the cycler either. But so it's like kind of a Mexican standoff in a way. But people are all doing it. It's all pitching and cross pitching if you go straight to the business. So I look at it. Yeah, you want to have conversations and be friends, but there's at some point where, especially when you're in network marketing, that you want to give out your information, and they want to do the same thing. Everyone wants to do the same thing. So sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But that's how. Yeah.
It's a combination of you giving out what you're doing in that particular business and a combination of giving out your links. It's not that you shouldn't be giving out your link, but it's a combination. I would say, okay, I would use an example. If you're on Facebook, I would say the more you post on Facebook, even if it irritates people, and people sometimes I say use your page, and then I say once you post on your page, then share it on your personal profile on Facebook. You share it, you have your business page, and you put stuff on there, and then you share it on your personal profile. But the one thing that some people tell you, they say you should post every hour. But what I'm finding out, a lot of people have just taken people out of they don't want to see anything from them. And I've been finding that out from just looking around and seeing what stuff I see, because a lot of stuff I don't see from my family. And the way to get back into the news feed is to pay for the ads, and I don't really suggest, because I know money can be tight, but that's the way that I see that most people are getting back into the people's news feed, is that, because that's all I see in my news feeds is ads, where it's because of the targeting, depending on what you like in your profile. So the one thing you can do is do some of that and some of your other stuff as well, making it personal so people connect with you.
Maggie, let me ask you this. Now, are you saying not to post your business on your timeline, or to actually do that on your timeline?
I suggest that if you have a business page, do you have a business page?
No, I don't.
Okay, I would suggest what that is, opening up a business page and letting everybody know you're open for business. Depending on what type of company you're in, I would use some of those keywords, and then when you share that on your page, and I think it used to be where you can pay $6.99, and then it'll go, I think it was $6.99 or $7.99 to Facebook, and it will go out to all the people that's on your page, on all your profile, that particular post, because you can do that, and that's a one-time fee. Or once you set up your page, then start sharing the information, post it on your page, and then share it on your profile page. That's my suggestion, whether it be a link to whatever you're sharing. But I would do it in a way that people don't think that they're being sold to. That's how I would do it.
Right. But now, how does that work out? If you're putting on your business page, now what are you saying? Put a link onto your main page or personal page to your business page?
Yes, share your business page with that particular, I'm saying share the post. You post on your business page about weight loss, something about weight loss, something you're doing, and then you take that particular link and share it with your friends on Facebook, because most of us have more engaging people on our Facebook profile than we do on our page. So that's how you get your engagement up a little bit organically. And then you post enough each day about something inspirational, images. You can even make your own quotes You could put quotes on visual things. That's the stuff. I mean, it sounds like a lot of work, and believe me, it is. But whatever you do, be consistent. If you're going to post 2 times a day, I would be consistent in posting 2 times a day.
Right. Now, I do tend to do sharing. If I see an interesting video or something, I'll take it from one of my friends and put it on my wall. How about that? Is that good? Because people tend to like the things that I find interesting.
Yes, they do they tend to like it because some of those pages that we've been sharing those quotes from, they have a lot of engagement on there because people like to see quotes. But I would say share some of that, and I would say share some of my own stuff that you put, because we all can go find some quotes and stick them on an image, and we can all go. If you need some of that information, I can give that to you, how to make them.
Right.
And, you know, and that kind of stuff, but share your own as well so people can get to know you. And when you do make your own image, brand your name or brand your website where you want people to go. So when they share it, other people will see it.
Oh, that's an idea. I do know, I have on my, across the top of my images, or for my good morning or my inspirational, I have a picture of me and the 2 companies that I'm representing. But I like the idea of actually having a website on there as well, because they don't have to have it clickable as long as they can type it in, right?
Right.
Right. What do you do with the people? So let me ask you, once you have them engaging with you, or at least engaging as far as your blog post, now, so this would be a good opportunity to go and thank them. I've done this, that I've thanked them for liking my post, and then asked them, if we can be friends on Facebook, and to then build a relationship from there. Is that pretty much the best way to utilize those posts, the people that comment on those posts?
That's a great thing to do, and then just take it a step further. If you have a certain amount of people, because I know I have over 1,000 people, and I stopped because first I was going in a way to get more and more people, but I found out that wasn't the right way to do at that particular time. So I would just go back and look through your newsfeed, because now the way Facebook, it used to be, we used to see everybody. I would go back and at least connect with the people that are posting, writing something to them so you could be on their radar. Whatever they post, go in and like it and comment, or just like it. Go in on a daily basis and take at least 5 minutes to go in and find stuff to comment on it, mostly the people that you really want to connect with. That's what I would also do, add to it. It takes time, so at least find 5 to 10 people on a daily basis, early in the morning or late in the evening, try to do that kind of a little bit often when you have some time. I would add that to the mix too, as well as what you're already doing. Did we lose Tamra?
Tamra, can you hear us? We might have lost Tamra. Let me see.
Because she looks frozen.
She was having some issues with her computer, some software that she was dealing with. So.
But does that make sense, or is that helpful for you?
That makes sense. It's anything that reaches out. You want to reach out and, like you said, comment or like people's posts. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
that should be done on a daily basis. Whatever you do, do it consistently on a daily basis. You have to keep. That was my biggest mistake, doing it on a daily basis, being consistent.
So doing this on your feed. This is on your feed now. Whatever's coming up, and that you go on your general feed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly. We're not going to see everybody. How many friends do you have on Facebook?
Not that many. I have about 150.
150. In order for you, with you having 150 friends, if you want to get more friends, I would suggest, do you have groups that you're a member of?
Oh yeah.
Apparently, I had a little bit of hiccup, but we are still.
We're still being live. Stop being live. We're talking behind you.
Yeah, we're still live. I'm surprised. We are still live. We are still live. I don't know. I'm in here twice, though, so I don't know how that happened.
That's okay. We're still live.
Still live. We're talking constantly here, and it's good. The groups. I've been in and out of groups because basically I've been in jail, Facebook jail, and And so I don't know if I'm in jail now, but I have to go look. But you're saying go to the groups if you're able to do it, to make the comments on people in your groups.
Yes, make those comments and then let them come to you. Make comments. If somebody posts in a nice quote, kind of give your little spill out. And I know it sounds like it's tedious work, but that's the
Hey,
one
you're
thing.
doing your business.
It might be sounding a little tedious, but those are the things that you get noticed for in some of the groups. And some of the groups are very spammy. People spam all day long and all night long. So the one thing, just going in there and being different and connecting to those people that's being spammy, see what's going on with them.
Right,
But I would
the ones that
just,
haven't been using a auto poster.
yes,
Yeah,
that's,
I don't connect with the people that you can tell if there's an auto poster, and I don't connect with them
No,
because more likely they're not even in there to look at any of the posts I put anyway or comments that I put in anyway. Now, we were talking about Twitter. Now, is that the same concept with Twitter? I mean, does people follow your news feed and can comment on your news feed there, or how does that work with Twitter?
Twitter is very different. With Twitter is very, very different. The one thing about it with Twitter, you're taking your 10 minutes a day to go connect to the people that are following you. And if you don't have a lot of followers, you go find people to follow. You set them, and this is the one thing that I didn't do at my Twitter account, and that I'm learning, because when she asked me to speak, she gave me a choice, either LinkedIn or Twitter. And a reason why I chose Twitter, because I said that one would be a little bit easier for people to really connect. And then the LinkedIn is even a different type of a place. But Twitter is more where you go in, you do your searches on a daily basis. Say, for instance, you're looking for somebody with MLM, because that's a broad thing. That's a broad title. You might have to narrow it down to even, we might have to figure out what terms to use that is not so many people are using, and people are looking, because people are always looking for doing something online. They're out there. Right out there. But the one thing that you do is search. You search how-tos. You search questions for people that are asking questions. You search those questions.
That's what I was talking about, because basically what this Hangout is meant to be, and I don't mean to interrupt you, is to be able to have a place to come and get your questions answered. And my thing is like, I don't see people asking questions on Facebook. I go into these different groups, and as you say, they're so spammy, that I'm not finding questions. And I know there are questions out there because, I have my own questions that one needs answered. So you're saying that I can be able to go into Twitter and people actually do ask questions there?
Yes, they ask questions. When you're ready, I think that for me, as being online, I think it's more personable to sit down with people so you'll know exactly what they're looking for, because I found out that even when you have like those membership sites, you go in, you get all these videos, and I'm very overwhelmed. I have tons and tons of membership sites, tons and tons of videos. I can go back and look at them over and over, but for me, that I'm finding out people need is more personal attention. So you sit down with people and you train them. That's how I find out. It might be a little bit harder, but I find out that I want people to know stuff, and I want people to have one thing that they can do on a daily basis and go with it and get some results. And that's what it basically turns down to, is getting results. And I don't think that most people are getting the results on Facebook. If you didn't start out really, really well and connect with all these people at first, it's very difficult right now. And only is do that personal stuff and that kind of stuff when it comes to either whatever you're doing online. But the one thing you do on Twitter is it's a search engine, really friendly, and most people don't do Twitter the right way, and I didn't either. But you set up your list of people to talk to, and you go in, and when they post stuff, then you go in and you mention them in a post. You either favor it, you either reply to it, or you retweet it. But when you're retweeting something, you retweet it with a comment or something like that. You don't just retweet stuff. They're looking for people to talk to, and you're looking for people, because it's a different type of a platform, because you only have a certain amount of characters. You have less than 40.
So when you're talking to them, are you talking to them on Twitter, or do you find that asking them to go onto Skype is better? I mean, I guess because you have such limited, I mean, is there private messaging in Twitter, or is it just, like I said, I'm just totally out of it.
It's called DM. It's a direct message, and not everybody answers their direct message. So you have to, in order to get on their radar, you go in and favor their stuff. You like their stuff. They favor your stuff. You go in, you share articles that you would think your audience would want to hear from other people, and then you mention those people. Say somebody like Janet. If she was on Twitter, you would say you would go in and mention Janet, and then you say she wrote a really nice article. So when you tweets it out to her, if she's following you, now it has to be, and then it gets real technical because that person has to follow you, and you have to be following that person. And then when you mention somebody, see, this is where it gets. When you mention somebody, that's why you have to go in and mention them in a way that your followers and their followers will see it as well. So you have to get connected with.
Wow. Now.
That you want to get connected.
Seems to be a lot to Twitter then. It's definitely something.
But it's a little bit more. It's a lot to me. That's after going over Twitter. I think I kind of like it a lot better than Facebook for the simple fact that Facebook is dealing with a whole lot of personal stuff. People put their dirty laundry on Facebook. Twitter, it goes so fast. You have to set your people up on list in order to see what they're saying. That's the difference between there. It's different. Stuff that you post on Twitter, it's not a real good thing to post on Facebook. But stuff on Facebook you can post on Twitter, and images work well with Twitter too. Whatever you do is to be consistent. Twitter also has 6-second videos as well. You can get your point across with the Vine.
Awesome. Well, I definitely learned a lot about Twitter today. I'm definitely going to have to check into that because that's the main point, is that I want to build relationships. I want to talk with people because, like either get them to the right training on how to do Twitter and Facebook or whatever. So, I want to be able to help with that, but then also help with just getting to know them to find out where they are in their business, and because it's still a mindset. You still have to have that positive mindset, and you still have to have guidance, because people are like, well, myself personally, I went and read the books and I'm listening to the audios and stuff, but it's really nice to have someone to actually talk to say, look, this is what's going on in my life. I really just can't figure out how to get through it right now, and they just need someone to talk to be outside the situation, to say, okay, and just ask the appropriate questions to help them guide themselves out of their situation. And that's why I'm so excited about taking that Be That Coach course, because I want to be able to help people, and having the formal training on how to not only coach myself but to help others coach themselves. I'm excited about that. I feel that that's where my line of going. I can care less about the ins and outs of Twitter and Facebook and building a list and safe list. That is all mechanical stuff. That's not where I want to be in right now in my life. I feel that I am a giving person, and I want to extend that. But I know I have to use these tools to reach out to the people. So I'm happy to hear the new, different ways of being able to approach people through Twitter and Facebook.
But
Thomas,
one thing. Let me interject one thing.
Oh,
I would
go ahead.
let Thomas go. The one thing I would suggest, this is my whole personal opinion, is to build an audience. And to me, the one thing that you're doing that I have not stepped up to the plate is having this Hangout. This is where you start, and don't get so bombarded over there with Twitter and Facebook. This is the one thing, because we notice, even dealing with Janet, because she's doing the conferences every single morning, we get connected to her. So this is my idea. You take this platform, and take this platform and make sure when you set it up in YouTube that you put your keywords in there. I would just be simple as possible. That's all. That stuff with Twitter and the rest of them is very complex. This is a tool that I feel that you should be doing. You take this tool, you go and share it places, and just put little snippets, say, okay, this is what I learned, that's what I learned. This, to keep it simple, and this is what I would do. This is where I would be at. I wouldn't even worry about it. I just keep it simple. People will find you if you have valuable information. Look at the successful people. What are they doing? They're holding webinars, Google Hangout.
Yes.
That's the one thing that they're doing. So don't get bombarded with Twitter and Facebook. This is where you should be, and that's why I'm glad you having this platform.
Well, thank you. You know, I mean, this is like my third one, and I get more confident in being out there and showing the true me, and just like this is what I want to do, and I want people to connect to like, know, and trust me. That, you know, there are so many people out there that are just all they want to do is take your money and run. But I am genuine, wanting to help people with their emotions and with their business, and giving them valuable information. And I believe we gave them a lot of valuable information about Twitter today. I really appreciate you taking the time to join my panel today. I know you've been busy getting ready for that summit, and I do appreciate you taking the time. Thomas, did you have any last final words before we close it out?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm interested in the Twitter thing because as a result of being involved with another program with Twitter, where I added thousands of people onto my following, and I'm following as well, like about 6,000 to 7,000 people on each side, that and they're all in internet marketing, because that's why I found the followers of internet marketers and got them put into my Twitter account. So my Twitter account is basically the followers of other internet marketers. So I'd like to be able to reach out to them in a successful way to communicate, and, you know, with what I'm doing and whatever is right for me to communicate with them. So it sounds very good what you said, Maggie, that I'd like to know more about how to go about doing that. I didn't know that we were able to do a search to find certain things. I'd like to know more about that. That's very
Yes,
great.
that's the one thing that you can find. You can search anything in that Twitter. That's the one great thing about that. Even with Facebook, you can search things, but with Twitter, it just has a lot of different things. So whenever you guys are ready, we can have a little training, and I can show you some things. So just let me know. We can come back on here, and we can make this work. I can show you what I have. It's just with that, and that's the one thing that I enjoy.
I really would appreciate that, Maggie, because I'm finding that, you know, you go to different trainings and you read an ebook, or like I said, you know, just having a person to guide you through it, to explain it to you. So if you have questions, you have someone to talk to. Reading an ebook or watching a video, to me sometimes is just like not enough. It's like, well, did I do that right, or what am I missing, and am I getting the results I'm supposed to be getting? And then you get frustrated with it, and then you quit because you don't have no one to back you up to help you or to answer your questions. And that's why I started this Hangout, is just because I may not have the answers, but I'm pretty well going to find it for you, because, you know, I got a few mentors in my back pocket, you know, and now you can go and answer those questions. But the problem is that so many people are out there doing training after training after training after training, trying to implement some of it and not sure if they're quite doing it right. And it's nice to have a person to say, hey, yes, this is what Twitter does. This is the different things you can do, and that way I can ask you questions as I go along. So I really like to see if maybe in a couple weeks after you get done with your summit, that maybe we can work something out and do that, and do more of an intense training on Twitter and connecting. So like I said, I mean, I went through the book. I've got 2 or 3 ebooks on Twitters. I've got thousands of people in my Twitter downline too, putting them people in like they taught me how to do, but still it's not panning out the way that I thought, and so I stopped doing Twitter several years ago. So now that I have somebody that I can talk to and say, okay, it's working for you, you're connecting with people, you know this is a great way of doing it, I can talk to you and get more information and to be able to give it to my audience as well. That would be awesome. I really look forward to doing that if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, I don't mind. And the one more thing is building your audience. If you can get your audience up to 1,000 people, build your audience and just give away. Even if you don't have an ebook, give away a 15-minute talk. Pick my brain. That's another thing you can do. Give out your phone. Out a Google Hangout. Those are the things that you can give that's doing differently. That's why we have this platform. You can do it differently. That's what you can do. You don't have to go and make up an ebook. You can give out an audio. You can do anything that's more comfortable to you. But it's about building an audience and then having the audience build out your expertise.
Yeah,
That's
that
how,
was
that's how
Janet
you
did
should
mention
start
that.
out.
Yeah, Janet mentioned that that's what I'm doing, is that because I'm doing, she says, you have a following, Tamra. You have people that's going to want to watch this, even though they may not be on my panel or may not be watching at the moment. But once I put my link up there, I'm having people always going back and looking at my videos, because I go back into, you know, my Google Hangout, and I can see how many likes or how many views I've gotten on a video. And so it's good. I am building my audience, and as I learn more about coaching and, you know, and just bring in guests on to give valuable information, I know that my audience will grow. So I'm excited. I just feel that this is the next step in my, you know, next leg of my journey, and I appreciate anyone that has, you know, that wants to join me along this journey. You know, they say that some people will come for a short time, and then there's those that will last a lifetime. And I've met a few of both, and you know, so I know that building relationships and building that audience can be very important. And I just want to thank both of you, Thomas and Maggie, for joining me here today.
Thank
And
you.
so this was only supposed to be a half-hour call. I know we've already went over our timeline. As things progress and we have more structure of what discussions we're going to have, and once we get people asking more questions in our panel, then we're going to extend it out a little bit. But for now, just to get us all used to being on camera, that was the big thing for me, is getting used to being out here and just being myself. So we'll go ahead and call this a close for the day. So thank you both for being on my panel, and I look forward to the next one. Thomas, I know you've always been with me on most of my panels. I thank you for that, for being supportive and helping me grow and develop into the person that I want to be. And Maggie, thank you so much for your tips on Twitter. I look forward to having an actual hangout that's only going to talk about Twitter and how to make it work for your business no matter what you're in. So with that, I'm just going to head. Any last words? Goodbyes?
Bye. Thank you very much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a great day.
Sure.
You too. Thanks.